Settling down, my text go, you scream, you know better than that. I come around when you least expect me. I'm sitting at the bar when your glass is empty. You thinking that the song's coming home to tempt me. I need to be alone like the way you left me. You start calling.
Hey, what's up guys, this is Kaz here, and today I'll be teaching guys how to jungle path properly in the game. So basically for this video, this is the first part for full clear. The Xennial or like the observer here, in this case will just sit in the base, and while I will try to full clear. And in the next part you'll see when the observer is with you or with the jungler, you can see how much time difference or like how much amount of time you have saved after full clearing. And you can use that amount of time saved to put pressure on other lanes, or basically take objectives like the Sentinel Dragon or like the Abyssal Dragon. Now, objectives in this game are actually the duty of the jungler to secure or like put pressure so that the opponent team cannot secure them or like sneak away with it. For example, like Fennec is a really good jungler just because of his very high fast clear, because of his first skill, as well as like some other junglers are there at the moment, but like Zephys is really good for clearing jungle because he can put pressure on like other lanes as well because of his high mobility, just like Fennec I would say. Now Fennec is like a marksman, so I would rather prefer for him to start at the red buff, just because the red buff gives you extra attack damage as well as puts the slowing effect on enemies after auto attacking. Now as a jungler you should always like try to buy this jungling item, Hunter's Crossbow. Just because of its extra damage to the buffs or like jungle monsters. Now you should always try to kite the farms as much as possible. Now here it's my bad that I tried to like take the red buff and I'm trying to go from like top to bottom, so it's gonna take more time and my full clear is gonna be a little late just because of that, but it doesn't actually matter that much. But like usually you should like try to from your red buff try to kite it to bottom side and take the creep there and then move to top, because it'll be much faster. Try to use your second skills to move more freely around the map to try to use your full clear faster. You can see I'm already level 3 by now, and after taking my blue buff or the blue mage, I don't know, I'll even be I'll be level 4 probably, just because of I guess it gives you like 600 experience. So try to take it and punish. Boom, I'm level 4, right? Look at the time guys. At the moment the time is I cleared it 1:28, so around like 1 minute and 30 seconds it should be done. Alright guys, now let's see what's the time taken when the observer is with us. Hey guys, what's up? And in this part I'll be teaching guys how to full clear with an observer by your side. So this time my observer is going to be an Alice. Alice is a really good observer just because of her amazing shield and as well as her max range stuns. So basically in this point we'll be showcasing you how to full clear faster with an observer by your side, as well as to create or secure objectives such as Abyssal Dragon, the Sentinel Dragon, and as well as creating pressure in lanes, like how to gank top or mid or bot. We're up against AI players, so it doesn't even matter, but in real type, in real matches as well, people will be trying to push lanes, alright? There will always be at least one lane which is going to be losing, either your top or your mid or your bottom, depends on which lane is more getting pushed, so you will gank upon them. So first of all we'll just take the red buff, just because if I'm a marksman, so Fennec needs red buff because of the extra bonus attack damage as well as extra on hit slow it gives. We'll be again taking up the Hunter's Crossbow as the first item, just because we want to do more damage to junglers, jungle monsters, not junglers. Holy shit. Anyways, we'll be starting off with the red buff, and the Alice will then rotate next to this buff, this jungle creep right here. So meanwhile I take the red buff, she will just try to start the next buff. She'll probably shield me right now, yeah. So, and just after she's not trying to take the XP from me, so I'll be getting the full experience, and I already have my punish saved at this moment, so I can take this one alone, and she can now go and start the red buff. She actually stood wait, what the fuck was that spear, dude? Holy shit. So I'll be taking this easily, and we'll be moving on to the next the next side, or like the top side of our jungle. So I'll just try to do this one while she'll go and start the next minion or next creatures. And meanwhile she does that, I'll try to start the blue Sentinel as well, just because of faster clear times. So after we take this, I'll just try to tell her to retreat so I can get the full experience from this camp. So you see, I'm already level fucking almost level 4. Just need like one monster, and our top lane is pushing. So I'll try to like gank her, and just because we have already cleared the jungle, we have nothing else to do. It's really good to just gank the opponent's lane just to create more pressure. Now the dragon is always spawns at like 1 minute and 50 seconds. So we can already see it's gonna spawn in anytime soon. We can see our mid is missing, but in real time cases the mid will be pushing, don't worry. So we try to like do the dragon as fast as possible, just because it's very easy to take, as well as like your Fennec. So Fennec takes objectives way faster than any other jungle, I would say. He even takes like way faster than Butterfly or Zephyrus, just because of his first blow. And now we're just gonna move on to Abyssal Dragon. Now if the opponent jungler is smart, he will always try to like send his observer or like his support just to check whether we are doing the Abyssal Dragon or not. So we have to try to like be careful of the map and like know the situation of the map accordingly, so you don't like try to hurry up. Now you can see like all our lanes are basically pushing except mid lane. Obviously there's no player there, so you just try to take vision and like do your jungle clearing again, and basically try to like get ahead of the opponent jungler as much as possible, as well as like try to provide your team with more pressure in lanes, as well as try to secure objectives, or at least contest. Even if you can't secure, it doesn't matter, because you can like try to secure objectives. Anyways guys, next up is going to be buff to buff. Stay tuned for that. Hey guys, and welcome to this second part of the video. Now this one is going to be about buff to buff clear in the jungle. Now you should only try to like clear from buff to buff, I mean like from red buff to direct to your blue buff, and or like if you're playing Zephyrus or like Violet, you should always try to go from blue to red. Now in this case, as I'm Fennec, I'll try to go from like obviously go from red to blue, just because I need the red first. And I'll try to take like blue last, because you know, obviously you need mana regenerations and cooldown reduction last. So you try to like always do the strategy like when you think the opponent jungle will try to invade your buffs. So you can see my observer is trying to like, or my top laner is trying to leash me from the the blue one, the blue buff, just because I can take it faster. It's always really good when you're like up against pre-made like 5-man teams, so you can like secure both your buffs and do not lose any like XP from that. It's really good against strategy. It's not, I would not recommend it like on a day-to-day basis or like in normal games, like when it's only against like when they have a very early game like strong jungler like Zephyrus or something, which can easily kill you or invade you, or even Fennec. I would say Fennec is a really good early game jungler just because of easy clear, very fast clear speeds, and he can easily steal buffs as well. So hope this one helps. Just try to like do this when you're like up against pre-mades, or like if you think you're a better like early game jungler like Fennec. Anyways guys, see you in the next one. The next one is going to be Invasion, all about invading the enemy jungle. Peace. Hello everyone, and welcome to the third and final strategy of jungle pathing. This is going to be Invasion. So for explaining this strategy, I'm going to be taking the help of the video of MIM versus Classy in the Indian AoE tournament, just because of like how perfectly executed it was, I believe. So as you can see on the minimap right now, the Slims and Gilder is trying to protect or scout the red buff, while the Zephyrus is gonna start from blue buff, because that's what usually Zephyrus starts at. So considering this strategy, the Classy team is going as 5-man to try to invade their the red buff, just to secure it. So as we see, they're not aware of it, and they're just trying to scout it. They were not gonna leash it, just they're scouting so that the buff doesn't get stolen. However, like you can see, the team is acting as 5, and they already know that as Zephyrus is not there with them, they can easily try to take the buff, and they take the buff, and as well as like try to take their bottom creep as well. So they have efficiently at least taken 1.5 level of experience from them. Now they have they know the Zephyrus and Lumber are missing, so they'll probably try to take their own red buff, but they reciprocate in time and they save their own red buff. So the Team Classy's jungler gets what's it called, whole 3 buffs worth of experience, as well as gets doesn't get denied any minions, while Zephyr's got denied his whole bottom side and is put behind in gold as well as experience.